What's up and welcome to Idle Insights, a show where each week I, Treavor Bettis, talk to interesting people about idle champions and Dungeons & Dragons. And returning to the show this week is the incredible Ellen Rose!
Hi!
Yeah! I decided I'm going to do the crowd cheer now, because it feels like it needs a crowd cheer. Wait, let me do this feature. Now they can actually hear me. It's not being noise gated. Hello, Ellen. How are you doing?
Good. Very busy,
Yes.
but good. Yeah, having a blast. How about yourself?
Same. I don't know what else to say other than same, because time is an illusion.
How's it March already? I don't know.
How is
No,
like January?
What is this
felt...
relentless march of time into March? Like, what is this?
I feel like January was so long that it just took over February. Like,
yeah, February didn't happen. It was just all January. Yeah.
And now it's March somehow. Again, going back to 2020, it's March again. Somehow. Ellen, if folks in the chat somehow don't know who you are, who are you for those fine folks who may not know?
Hello, I am Ellen Rose, and I work on a channel called Outside Extra, and with our friends over at Outside Xbox, we also work together on the channel Oxventure, where we go on lovely D&D adventures as the Oxventurers Guild with our wonderful DM, Johnny Chiodini, and we have the best time. So yeah, basically my job is talking about video games and pretending to be a wood elf druid. So yeah.
That's a great job description.
I hope that
goes on a CV at some point.
Yeah. I hope so too. I hope transferable skills, right? If this all kind of disappears.
What skills do you have? I can give you 7 things on a list, and
give me a D20.
I can do a great
I failed
cat
that skill
impression.
roll. Yes, good cat impression. I can pretend to shoot an arrow. Real good. There you go.
That's fantastic. Last time you were on the show, we were talking about Merilwen because she was coming to the game, and she's been there now for a bit. She's got skins and stuff now.
Yeah, she's got shiny new skin, and it's all got leaves on it and stuff. Like they showed me the first skin, and I was like, I like this, but I think she needs more leaves. She needs more like floral thing, just like. Yeah. She's a plant person, and so they were like, fine, here is a cape made entirely of leaves, and I was like, you understand me? I love this.
You can just hear the loud swooshing.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, maybe just like some leaves in her hair or something. I think I like kind of like the maple leaf. I think that's a lovely color, you know. And then they were like,
all the leaves. What if we gave you every leaf? That's fantastic. So what is we're gonna talk about All Champions Presents a little bit. Oh, I guess I should probably preface this at the beginning. Well, this is a pre-recorded episode, and this is pre-recorded before episode 3. So I will say this: if you haven't seen episode 3 yet, you're good, but you should also go watch episode 3. It's on YouTube.
Watch it. Yeah.
But if you if you haven't seen episode 1 and 2, maybe go watch those first, because we're gonna get a little spoilery about. Sorry, my phone is deciding it wants to be the main character. Go watch those, because we are gonna get a little spoilery about episodes 1 and 2. But you're safe for episode 3, because we have no idea what happened. We got nothing. No, you know more than us. So what? But before we get into that, though, what has Merilwen been up to? In the time since then, because you all did a new season of the show, I believe.
We did the Legend of Dragons.
Yeah,
I think that's the right title of it.
I know Dragons was in there somewhere.
Legacy of Dragons, not Legend of Dragons. Legacy of Dragons. There we go. And that was really fun. It was like a more Egbert centered series, which was really fun. Got to see a bit of his backstory.
Purple cows and everything.
The purple cow in the sky, exactly. A Vash Mauve, love it. And like Merilwen did some things that everyone is saying are war crimes, and Merilwen's like, no. What do you mean?
I think I said on Rhiannon's episode a couple days ago that, like, I didn't have any previous knowledge about the Oxventures before, like, they came to the game. And then when I started interviewing all of you and hearing, I'm sorry, you all did what? And now you're like, yeah, she got accused of war crimes. I love it.
Basically, some clones of Egbert were walking away, and I was like, they're going to disclose our location to the big bad, so I'm just going to moonbeam them. And everyone around me went, oh! And I'm like, they're clones of our friend made without his consent. They're just weird. Like, what is, because Merilwen's all nature, so she's like, that's not. Okay. So yeah, like
don't count.
completely makes sense to her.
Yeah,
but everyone else is just like, they have souls, these poor things. Yeah, then she's probably gonna mulch them anyway.
I do love that extreme thing for like rangers and druids when it comes like when especially when the character like leans so hard into the nature part of it. One of my players is very much that for a druid. And recently he saw a Warforged for the first time, and he was like, I would like to roll a wisdom save to not throw up. Because this is completely unnatural to him.
Well, in the show, like Merilwen meeting Sentry, she's just kind of like, she's plants. She's basically plants. It's fine.
That's true.
I talk to plants all the time. She's plants.
That's true. Yeah, that was kind of a cheat code there. Yeah.
Which is something I got around with that. But yeah, no, yeah, Merilwen is neutral, and then sometimes she makes neutral decisions that all the others are like, what? What is it? It's like, what is it's the most efficient thing that we should do,
I mean, when you put it that way, I do get it. Like, if I was at this table, I'm like, okay, I don't know how I feel about it, but I get it now.
Yeah.
That's great. So what besides war crimes, what happened in Legacy of Dragons?
Well, we found out about why Egbert got kicked out of the Dragon Door. So I won't spoil it because it is a very cool revelation.
Oh, okay.
And like none of us really saw it coming, and like you can see we're all like, oh my God, it's happening. And it was like, it was so much fun. Like just the shared glances between Merilwen and Corazon, especially because we can kind of see each other. We're just like, oh my God.
That makes I don't think he said anything specific about the next season, but I do know that Mike was talking a lot about the not knowing Egbert's backstory on his episode last year, and kind of really driving that one home. So that makes sense. I like that. Got some revelations.
Yeah, it was great. So that was really fun. And then more recently, well, actually we had some live show adventures, which was lovely. We did some live shows at MCM Comic Con, do a London show and a Birmingham show. So we did those, and we were also at EGX, and we had a lot of fun. And it's always so nice performing in front of an audience and doing D&D in front of an audience, and getting, like, for me personally, I love bad puns, and like
I'm sure the Isle Champions players don't know at all what you're talking about there.
And and I just I had a lot of fun, like, getting those reactions from people again. It was really good.
I'm sure the sea of groans, and then the one person,
yeah. It's
that
like
one's usually
but
me.
right at the back. Thanks to that person there. But yeah, like no, it was really fun. We've done some really cool stuff over the last few months, live show wise, and there's been some fun silly adventures that have ended up on Oxventure. And then more recently though, Merilwen in the Oxventure timeline is currently on an island with a bunch of dinosaurs and all of her friends. So because we've got Oxventure Extinction, which is happening right now.
So is that canon? Like, is this a canon thing that's happening, or is this like a side thing? Oh my god!
Oh no, this is canon. This is canon.
I love
it. This is a lot of fun. We're seeing Dob's sister. So a small spoiler for the end of Legacy of Dragons. Dob's sister turns up. She's like, Dob, we need you. And so we've gone off with Dob's sister. and she's working on an island where they're trying to bring back extinct animals,
As you do.
as you do, and it's very pastiche of a certain famous dinosaur film that everyone knows and loves, and it's a lot of fun. But there's like lots of other, there's some cool other things involved. It's not just about Dob. Some other characters are getting some things as the series goes on. It's really cool, that I'm very excited about, and I think long-term fans of Oxventure will be excited about. I won't say anything, but when it actually happens, they'll be like, "Oh my goodness, it's the thing!" So yeah.
When I saw that trailer, I think this person has interacted with y'all before. Do you know Gav Murphy?
Oh, Gav, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Gav is my favorite because on Twitter,
Yes!
every single time
Seems a bit far-fetched, but I'll give it a shot. And so this bit came a long time ago for folks who don't understand. Gav Murphy would tweet occasionally, this Jurassic Park movie's on TV right now. It seems a bit far-fetched, but I'll stick with it for a bit. And that's the same tweet every time. And it just went through my head as soon as I saw that trailer.
Yeah. It's a bit far-fetched. We need to get Gav to tweet us out. That's a bit far-fetched.
That would be great.
But
this actual play seems a bit far-fetched.
It's so good. He's got it set up, I think, that it auto tweets every single time Jurassic Park is on telly on any channel in the UK.
That's incredible. That is a level of dedication to a joke I've never had.
Yeah. Like you get it every once in a while and you're like, oh cool, they're showing Jurassic Park. That's nice to know.
It's like a weird TV guide notification.
Exactly. He's like our Radio Times, which is the very English British version of that. Radio Times.
Ah, yes. The Times of Radio.
Yes.
Fantastic. No, I cannot wait to see that one, because that is a combination of things that I'm like, I didn't know I needed this, but now I need to see this.
It's a lot of fun, and it's Johnny, they're having the best time. They're having
Johnny is running it?
Yeah. Johnny always is our DM for life, I think. unless they and Luke swap, because we've had Luke DM a couple of times. So Luke's our stand-in DM when Johnny can't make it. So yeah. Yeah, it's so
gonna be
good.
A fun one.
It's a lot of fun.
But right now you are playing in Idle Champions Presents Fury of the Black Rose.
Yeah. The emo in me is like, yeah. Like, oh my
it is pretty metal. The logo that the art team made for Fury of the Black Rose, I'm like, so that's
cool.
metal.
They showed it to us and I was like, dang. Like 14, 15, 16-year-old me would have been like, holy wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
And you get to be a part of that.
Right? So good.
So how did Merilwen end up in this game? Like what story-wise brought her into it?
Well, story-wise, basically Merilwen and Rust go way back. Because in terms of the leveling in this game and timeline-wise, like, I'm playing at a higher level than I ever have in D&D before. So at the moment in Oxventure, we're only playing on like level 8.
Really?
Yeah.
Higher than that.
No, we're taking our time, but I think we've been overdue a level up, but we've not had the time, because we like to kind of like film it and make a little thing of it, of like, this is what we're doing. You know?
Okay.
So we've not had a chance to level up for a little bit. So yeah, they were like, okay, create your character, and I was like, all these new things, shiny new things. Oh my gosh. So time-wise, I think it's a little bit further in the future from where Merilwen is now. And basically Rust is on this journey because they've been given the offer, like, he just wants one gold piece.
That's all he wants.
Piece, like little Rust. He's very simple to backsy. And so I think like basically Merilwen is just like joining her friend in a kind of like, he goes to one side eventually and is like, you know, you're gonna pay me his bit so that I can make sure like he has food and stuff, right?
Oh, well, that's just being a good friend.
Well, the thing is, like, because when Merilwen first met Rush, she tried to like trick him into taking more gold, and like by giving it one piece at a time, and they're like, oh, okay, and like kind of like Rusty be just like, oh, cool. Oh, another one, and like no object permanence. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. and then, but Corazon, mainly for his own wealth, but also slightly thinking of how this is going to blow Rust's mind if he goes into his pocket and finds more than one gold piece. Steals every single one. And it's like, yeah, I'm doing it for his benefit, for Rust, you know.
So you're practicing persuasion. Rust is practicing object permanence, and Corazon is practicing thievery. It's great.
Yeah.
It's good times all around.
Yeah, it's fun. So I think basically Merilwen like loves cats anyway. So like she has little Simon, her cute little wildcat friend that she used to hang out with, and like her first wild shape was a cat, the same species as Simon. And so like when she first met Rush, she was like, oh my goodness, this is a cat person. This is my kind of person. I love Tabaxi already. Like Rust is my favorite. Rust on the Harbor is great. And so I just think any chance to hang out with Rush, she's always like, yeah, let's go. So like kind of they're doing like a pals holiday away, I think. Like, you know, they catch, you know, you haven't seen a friend for ages and they're like, hey, I found this package holiday thing, do you want to go? A little backtracking thing. Yeah, let's do it. I'll go on this spaceship with you. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you know, just Spelljammer ship, it takes us off into the vastness of space, whatever.
Let's do that. I'm totally up for jumping on a Spelljammer.
This place is boring. Space,
I'll be back. They'll be fine. Those people get Prudence, you look after them. Don't let Dob do anything without anyone around. He needs adult supervision. You go on. I'll see you later.
Did you say that Prudence was the adult supervision?
Yeah. I would say Corazon, but also Corazon is like, no, I'm the best. And it's like, okay, well, I'll actually put Prudence in charge.
That is such a fun thought exercise I never thought about. It's like if your character had to leave your group, like chat, your character had to leave the group they're in. Who are you leaving in charge? Who are you like you are handling my stuff?
Yeah, because I think like because Corazon is sort of like the leader. He's taken himself upon himself to be the leader because he's like a captain of the ship and blah, blah, blah. But like I think there is like a real good fine balance between all of the characters, in that like what if one of them goes, like there's something a little bit like we're like, oh no, like but they did this bit, they did this job. So I think it's kind of like who's the one that will make up you know, for your bit, and that's like I think Prudence being an evil character and everyone being super good, I'm like, you need to do extra work to pull it down a little bit, just to keep us in the middle somewhere, because that's where I am.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, I think that is actually kind of a healthy D&D group, is one where it's like just kind of changes who is doing what, like as far as like leadership role sort of thing.
Yeah,
like I know my group, there one character will do it sometimes and then another one, and then one time someone who was doing it last time can't do it this time because now we're underwater and they are extremely afraid of water. And they're just hyperventilating the entire time.
Yeah, it's you just have those moments like if there's like an episode where we're in the woods, then everyone's like Merilwen. All right, okay, I'll do nature checks for everyone.
It is always amazing to me, like how no matter what, as soon as we have to search for someone and there's trees around, the ranger's in charge. You got this solely on your own. We will be back here.
Yeah, like hey, druid, speak with animals, do it, do the thing, speak to the cat, speak to the dog, whatever,
speak to the
do it. Ask them things. But yeah, so it's fun. And like, you know, a demon shows up, we all look at Prudence, we're like, what is it?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So
Sounds-
Merilwen and Rust are on a spelljammer ship. What happened after that?
Well, big like goldfish looking thing crashed into us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The mighty Xanathar with the great voice. That's my attempt.
Okay,
Don't
now
show
officially
Vdave.
one of my favorite things in the world is Ellen Rose doing an impression of Vdave Walter's Xanathar. That is on the
The
list
mighty
now.
Xanathar. It's great. Your ship did not look as good as me. I like doing
Vdave caught
voices.
me completely off guard with that voice, just
I
suddenly
was
doing
just like,
it.
this is amazing.
He did it on an episode Champions of Lore. Like, we're just talking about beholders and stuff. And it's like, and then there's always the almighty Xanathar. And I'm like, what is happening? Because like I had a Xanathar voice. I made them all dark and you know,
Yeah.
brooding and stuff. And I'm like, no, this is perfect. This is everything now. This is the Xanathar.
It's so good.
They
so
ever put
good.
the Xanathar in the movies that's coming out? Vdave's
Oh
gonna
my
voice
gosh.
them.
100%.
It's sad.
100%. I was just, that voice came out and I was like, I am going to have a good time on this show. I'm going to enjoy this. Great. Good. I think you could probably like watch as you're watching it through, you see the moment where I'm like, yes. The hell, this is great.
So what happened with the Xanathar?
Crashed into us. And then we crashed into a new planet that we'd never been to before.
Ooh.
And yeah, like and amongst like all of that, some dragonborn with wings came on board. Poor Sentry was like kind of like transported somehow and into the Warforged thing that was already there, and then it changed into them, and it was like, whoa, this is cool. And then yeah, and then we kind of crashed into a chapel, which set off some bad things with the village that chapel belonged to.
So, I heard that you had another run-in with skeletons.
Yeah, a lot of skeletons, a lot of undead, a lot, yeah, quite a fair bit during the crash. So as we were going down to the, just like before we crashed, we could get food, like kind of survival kits, or secure the cargo. And Merilwen, like Rust decided to secure the cargo, and Merilwen was like, well, look, I gotta help Rust. I gotta help my poor friend. My poor friend. And then yeah, one of the things had broken, and there was like some horrible acidic blob in there, and it latched onto Merilwen's face and ruined all of her gear, because upon crash landing, may have rolled a 1.
Oh no!
So yeah, Merilwen had rubbish new gear, which is good that we got shiny new red capey gear now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like Merilwen tried, and that's all we can say she did. she didn't succeed much, but she tried her best, and it wasn't enough.
But at least she tried her best.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got some more party members. You got Solok and Miria.
Yeah. So yeah, so Miria, spooky half skeleton lady, because she was like with Soth and everything. He tried to turn him into like a horrible kind of like ghastly, you know, terrifying looking ghouly thing. And yeah, I was like, yeah, glad that didn't happen. And yeah, and Solak there with a bunch of dragons, and Merilwen's excited by the dragons. Like Merilwen's like, cool new creatures. But yeah, like there's really interesting people in this party that Merilwen is like.
That was
I've
actually
never
what I was gonna
encountered.
ask about. What was Merilwen think of this this party? What these new adventurers?
Well, like she's a little wary of necromancers. Like it's not that she thinks that they're all bad, she just doesn't trust them immediately. Like she doesn't trust them as easily as others, because the necromancer messed with her cat.
that's right.
Yeah, and turned poor little Simon into a hat.
No.
Which Johnny had to I got my revenge on Johnny. So the hat thing was Johnny's idea. Which Johnny revealed to me as we were filming in the thing. And like afterwards they were like, was that okay? Like, please tell me if that was too much.
No!
And I was like, oh no, that was great. I was like, I was shocked and I was able to just be shocked rather than have to be like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I was like, no, that's brilliant. Like heartbreaking, but in a good way, you know. And yeah, we met Ghost Simon in a little place, and I like Solak like scooped me up to stop me from following the ghost cat who was my friend. I was like, no, these, you know, like this isn't, you don't want to wander off here. And so Merilwen's like, oh okay, can't follow my friend, and has to let go. And in her cat form, I was like, she gives Simon a slow blink, and that
I know what that means. Oh no! Oh, every cat owner was like, oh my god, my heart.
Yeah, Johnny's a cat owner, so
oh my god.
So if you watch Johnny's screen, they're like,
oh.
The first thing I was like, oh my goodness, I've broken Ree. And
oh my god,
I'd be like, oh.
I've never been more happy that I had to do work during an Idle Champions Presents. Oh my god, that would have destroyed me. oh.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
okay. There was something I wanted to bring up there though, because I'm pretty sure by the time this goes out, folks will have seen it. But there's a comic that got drawn this week.
Yeah,
and it has the ghost Simon, and it's got Merilwen in the cat form. And I told the artist I was gonna suggest this to you. You don't have to take this, but I really think that the little screen of Merilwen as a cat with the irritated face should just be your Twitter profile picture now. I was like, that's perfect right there. So good.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing is that the wild shape form that she take, that Simon was a Scottish, that he's based on a Scottish wildcat, and they're basically like little angry looking tabbies, and they're so cute, and like they just have resting angry face the whole time, resting grumpy face, and they're so cute. So basically it's just like,
maybe I haven't looked up. I'm gonna do this right now. What is it? Scottish Highland cat? Is that what you said it was?
Scottish wildcat.
Scottish wild. Oh, that's because my wife has discovered Highland cows, and she's like, these are the best things in the world.
Oh, I can send you some pictures.
Oh, really?
Has them in a field next to their house. So yeah, I can send you some pictures.
Please do. She would love that. She's like, these are the greatest creatures that have ever existed.
They are
and
so
I love
cute.
Them. Oh
They're
my
so
god,
cute.
these cats are perfect.
Yeah, right.
They're just like so grumpy.
Yeah. I love them.
It's just their brows are just right here to be like, no.
Okay. Just constantly like, I don't trust you.
Oh my god.
Just gonna watch you from a distance.
I mean, it very much looks like the cat that I have, but grumpy.
Yeah.
To be fair, she could be grumpy too.
I can imagine. Grumpy cat's so cute.
But yeah, so what about the rest of the party? What's she think of them?
Well, Sentry she's very impressed by. She thinks they're quite cool. She's like, just assumes that they're sort of like a plant person because of all like kind of the wood and like especially with the new skin that they have, like with the roses and stuff coming through. Merilwen's like, cool. Yeah, you're just like a big plant. I like you. Druid approved. And Solak, she's just like, this person clearly has a way with dragons and they trust him, and that makes me kind of go, good. Like particularly like the way that interacts with them is very, like there's a real friendship relationship there. So Merilwen's like, okay, if they trust him, then I kind of trust him, because Merilwen has a lot of respect for dragons in general.
Okay.
she really respects dragons as well, because there was a dragon that basically, if I remember correctly, the necromancer that turned her cat into a hat, she basically got a dragon to like destroy the house, and
Oh, well, there you go.
so she was like, hey, he's doing bad magic on your mountain murder. Do it. Okay. Bye. We'll leave you to
it. You have a good one.
But yeah, so yeah, she's really interesting. And she, like, the way that Solak like is very, you know, dedicated to the cause, and you know, they're kind of stuck in the situation. They've been fighting all this time, and you know, and then with Miria, like, she's spent a lot of time with a tiefling warlock who is skewed towards the more evil side, and so like she doesn't immediately write someone off who like might have done bad things. She's a bit wary, but the fact that she's seen Miria kind of stand up to her old boss basically and go, nope, I didn't want you to try to make me into some puppet of yours. I don't want that. I am my own person. Thank you very much. She's like, respect. She's slightly creeped out by the undead dragon thing that's following Miria around. She's like, I'm not sure what that is. But she's still like, you know, this person deserves a shot, like, especially if Solak is trusting them. So yeah, I think
okay.
No, I just think
it is definitely a very interesting group of adventurers that is seeming to come together in some fun ways. I like the dynamic that we've got so far.
Yeah, it's that begrudging kind of partnership between Solak and Miria that I'm really intrigued by, and the others are just like, we'll help. Okay, what do we do?
That was actually surprised to me that they knew each other. I didn't know that was happening. It was just like, we got history. I don't like you. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. And like, oh,
I want the tea. Where's the tea?
Yeah. Well, there was like, because Vdave had like mentioned to both of them, like, hey, can we have a quick chat, like, just to work out like where your characters fit in, because I'd like your character to be like on the planet that we land on, you know. And yeah, it's like been really like kind of like, oh, this is what it was about. But then also there have been some things where little bit peek behind the scenes, Mark didn't know that Miria had worked for Lord Soth. That was a new thing. That was a Vdave's, and then like we were all like, oh, like we've got a little side chat where we can like be like, oh, I'm a little bit lost. Can someone remind me what this person's thing is? Blah blah blah. So that, you know, we can just say it on stream. And then like, I had no idea that I did that. Like, I love when DMs do kind of like come up with interesting backstory for your character, because I think sometimes like the backstory, like sometimes I know some people who will be able to be like pages and pages and pages of like backstory for their character, and I'm just like, I'm an elf, I used to have a cat. Done. And then and just having Johnny then for like an Oxventure come up with this like all new thing with Simon, and like, oh, actually Simon wasn't really gone yet, you know. This bad thing happened, and it was like, oh, okay, here's some like interesting backstory brought forward. I think it's really great. And so Vdave's done the same thing, and it's like, oh, that's added. And Mark has absolutely run with it and been amazing. So yeah, it's been really fun.
That doesn't surprise me all that Mark is just like, yep, nope, got it, picking it up, let's go.
Like, oh, okay, cool.
Still surprised, but yeah. But what you were saying there, though, like I'm definitely the kind of player that, like, one time one of my DMs was like, hey, can you write up this character's backstory? And I handed them 4 pages of single space paper, and they were like, oh, okay, that's a lot. But I've had players before that were like, hey, I don't know what to do as far as a backstory. Can you just do something? And I'm like, yeah, are you sure?
Get ready to be shocked.
Yeah, no, like that happened during the Curse of Strahd game, and one of my players was like, I know who she is, I just don't know anything else. Just do whatever you want. And I'm like, are you
Yeah.
for real? She's like, yeah. And so like I had this whole thing where like she was soul experimenting and then swapped bodies and forgot everything, and she has the ability to remove souls from people, and that's how they stop Strahd. And she was like, what the heck? As soon as I get the chance to like work with the character's backstory, I'm like, you are getting tied completely to the story.
Yes.
This is what's happening here.
Amazing. I love it. Love it.
Always fun stuff to do with backstories. But I want to talk a bit about Vdave, because this is the first time you've played with Vdave, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you have after just 2 episodes? Do you have like any kind of like expectations or anything for where this story or what Vdave's doing could go?
A lot of higher stakes combat than I'm used to.
That's
in Oxventure, like in Oxventure, Johnny, they're very you know, I think they bend the rules a little bit. They let us get away with a lot of things, which we all appreciate. And sometimes, like, especially when we do live shows, it gets to like, we have to leave the stage in 10 minutes, and they're like, we win the boss fight, yay!
Yeah.
You know, things like that happen. So yeah, and it like the first fight we're in, like in the first episode, like I lost like 40 odd hit points. I was down to like 20 hit points from like 80 something. And I was like, ow. Like, oh no, I'm actually gonna have to like use the wild shape hit point thing now. I'm just gonna have to turn into a bear so I don't die. What am I doing?
This is my safety bear.
Just like, oh gosh. So I was just like, okay, cool, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how few hit points I have.
If there's one thing Vdave does, it is heavy hitting combat.
So yeah, but it's like he said to us like let me, like, you know, in terms of like player death, like, you know, flag if you're like, I cannot have this guy. I've been like, please don't kill Merilwen, I kind of need her for other things. Or can this be like a pocket dimension thing or something? I don't know. So we'll find, like, if anything does happen to Merilwen, we'll have to find a way to talk around that for Oxventure.
That reminds me of like one of my favorite like actual play things of a character death happening was the like original old Penny Arcade podcast. Will Wheaton's character dies in a pit of acid. And they're like, and everyone else is like, oh my god, like, is he dead? And Chris Perkins is like, yeah. And all of a sudden Scott Kirk goes, okay, hang on, pause. We cannot kill Binwin. I've built a lot of products around this character. And then Will has a lot of expletives that I can't repeat on this show.
We have merch.
There's merch around this. There's Binwin t-shirt.
We've just released figurines.
Yes, you did just release figurines. Yes.
Don't burn her in acid.
Oh boy, yeah,
it's fine. It's in the future. If anything happens, we don't have to think about it for a long time. It's fine. It's fine.
I do know that on one previous Isle Champions Presents there was a unexpected character death, and but it was freaking awesome. Like Shaka went down, and then Whittle, who's a Damphir, was like, I'm gonna bite him. And like, so just there, suddenly in the middle of this, they like, Beatup's like, we gotta go to break real quick. And Shaka came back as a vampire.
Gotta break. Reroll.
Yeah, it was, so I will say that, like, it's definitely a possibility, but I think some cool stuff comes out of it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's Vdave is like, it's really exciting. There's so many characters like on the ship. It was like,
oh yeah,
we had like met a bunch of different people, and every one of them felt unique and stuff. And I love like I have so much respect for DMs that can do that, and it's amazing. So yeah, it's like real, like huge. It feels like a huge cataclysmic event, basically, which we've sort of had close to a couple of times on Oxventure, but most of it is us just like messing about and ruining small towns.
Small
By
economies
accident.
and everything.
Yeah. Oh, we've ruined the economy of Geth. It's literally half of it is in the lake. So
See, what you
yeah.
need to now do is to start replacing all the gold that's in the lake with your own currency. It's just like
Yeah.
coins with Corazon like winking or something.
Yes. Yes.
So the all of Geth will just have the currency of Oxventure.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's what. Yeah, that's the next goal. That's the next.
Oh, I love it. Well, I want to spend a little bit time here at the end talking about some other stuff that y'all doing. What is besides the extinction thing? Is there any other games and stuff going on with Oxventure? Are you still doing the Blades in the Dark stuff?
Well, Blades in the Dark is currently going out on our podcast. So we have an
Oh.
Oxventure podcast. And we've been putting up all the old Oxventure episodes on there. And currently we're
Ooh.
playing, we're doing all the season 1 of Blades in the Dark, which was a lot of fun. So, you know, introducing some of our D&D fans on the podcast to our other tabletop adventures.
I'm subscribing right now. This is my favorite way to take in actual plays.
Yes. I'm actually from when this video goes out, I'm actually going to be in the podcast this week. So yeah, this on the Friday.
So
yeah.
the Blades in the Dark one. This is re-putting out the first season, or is this
the
new
first
stuff?
season, or on first season? Yeah.
So I actually started watching that one recently because I was thinking about running a Blades in the Dark game. I'm like, well, I want to see it played, and I'm going to go to the best one to watch it. And yeah, okay, cool, perfect. Then I can just I can almost pick up exactly where I left off. This is great.
Great. Yeah. There's the episode that will be going up the week that this video is broadcast on Twitch is gonna be one where Luke has to do a lot of urchin voices, and Luke's urchin voices are my favorite, as I will I explained in the podcast as well, but it's so good. It's like little voices like this, you know, all right. And it's
I can
so
see
good.
Luke be like, I don't know what to sound like a child. It's just high pitched, right?
Luke, but like Luke is just like, he just does it, and I'm just so like thrown off guard, but in the best way. I'm like, I love this. I just urchin voices the whole time. It's great. It'll be Johnny and I actually on that one. So yeah.
I really like because like this is the first time watching those ones was the first time I got to see Johnny role playing because I hadn't seen any episodes with Rust or anything, so it was really interesting for me to go from those Blades in the Dark games to finally seeing them play Rust on the ICP. It's like, oh, these are very different characters that they play. One of them they're all like dark and brooding, and the other one very French.
Hello, Casimir. And it's hello. Do you have one gold piece? Oui. And yeah, it's so good. I absolutely love it so much. And yeah, because Johnny said that they want Russ to have a little bit of character growth, because he's like, he's got this one thing, Rust, with like it's the one gold piece, but Johnny, they really want Russ to be like a little bit deeper eventually and kind of like learn and grow on this, rather than like kind of just be like, okay, I let all right. And yeah, I really liked his interaction with Soth. He was like, you sound kind of silly. like so long space. Like Gabe was just, oh my god. Like Gabe in the chat, in our little chat, said, I wish Solak had been awake to see like all of everyone's interactions, because it would have been so heartwarming for it. Yeah, it was so good. But yeah, like Johnny is so good at like playing very different characters. And they've had a dwarf character on Oxventure as a guest as well.
Oh,
Before.
okay.
Heimdall, I think is the no. Heimdall is from God of War. Uh, Hengist.
Okay, I need to make a note of that
Hengist.
because I will be talking to them at some point soon. It's the first time I'm getting to, because I wasn't doing all insights when Russ came to the game, so I gotta bring up that one, so I because I need to know more about that.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a fun character. Dwarven, great. Johnny's got the beard for it, so it works.
Oh my.
And yeah, so good. And but like they are so good at just like being so many. I'm like, again, I'm just like so like in awe of DMs who can like do so many things like that. So yeah, it's good. It's good. But yeah, so we've got the Blaze in the Dark podcast, but also me saying like I have so much respect for DMs. I also say that because I have this week on Oxventure, I've done it. I've been a games master. I've done the thing. We did it for a lovely little game called Tea Time Adventures. It's a very cute, cozy role playing game. And yeah, I did it. I wore a flower crown for the power of it. I was like, power of it. I just well, like yeah, I joked that like our because I'd expressed like, oh, I want to learn how to be a GM, you know, do it, because it'd be great if we had another person, like when Luke's not here and when Johnny's not here, I can be like, me, maybe. And yeah, and then our producer Zach, hi Zach, you're the best, was like, hey, would you be up for trying this cute little game? I think like you'd probably be pretty good at it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And yeah, I was like, yeah, and my joke is like, in my head I was like, I have to wear like, I'll do it if I can wear a crown, and it'll be a flat crown. I'll be a GM if I get to wear a crown.
That is the source of your power. Don't tell anyone though. No one remember that. That's a secret.
But yeah, everyone, GMing is weird because especially when you're very new to it, as I am, because Luke messaged me afterwards, because Luke was wanting to be in the game, but he couldn't in the end because he wasn't well, and he was like, no, I'm missing it. So afterwards he messaged me being like, how was it, how was the thing? And yeah, and I was like, I thought it was like, I was like, it feels fun. I hope everyone else feels like it's fun. Is this fun? Is everyone watching at home having fun? Is this, because you kind of want to, it's so DMing. I've not done it, not on camera now, but I'm going to try to as well. But I'd imagine DMing not on camera is a little bit more chill, and you're like, oh, hang on, I'll check that book, we've got, you know. But whereas on camera you kind of want things to clip along, and like, you know, if you do have to check the book, you will cut that bit out of the edit and stuff. So ideally you just want to keep going. And yeah, so I'm like, is this clipping along nicely? Is this okay? Yeah. And like being the kind of like, I need just a backup just in case. Like I had like a backup of an extra thing that we had to do if we ran out of time and went through it too quickly, because I was so worried that I was gonna like make everyone be like, okay, next thing. And like before we started recording, I was like, please feel free to like do silly things and like stop and just like be like, I look for something like this in the shop or whatever, you know. Just anything to like, you know, that I just want to be able to be like, okay, make this roll for me, you know. That
was probably one of my favorite things, like DMing for the first time on stream with people who like that's what they do, because like I was in the same thing where I was like, oh my god, what if I didn't write enough, what if I wrote too much, I've got all this extra stuff just in case. And then we got into it and they started role playing like just without me even saying anything. I'm like, oh, that's right, you'll feel time, oh, this is great.
Right? That's what I'm like, please do what we do every week, please. And so we had Mike and Jane were on, and Mike is great and chaotic. And I had something fun happen to his character on a bad roll right at the end, which I quite enjoyed, and I think is probably the highlight of it for me. Because I was like, this happens. I just was like, I can say what I want now because I'm the DM.
Yeah!
No one can stop me. This happens to your character. Tee. And yeah, I got to voice Sage, as in the plant.
Oh, okay.
And well, not really, because yeah, there was a failed roll there, but I got to like be voiceless Sage, as if like if they had eyes, they'd be looking at you like this. I'm like, this is the only way I can do. Like, as a DM, I was like, this is the GM problem of how do I explain this?
Yes.
If it did this.
There is many a time I'm like, how does this inanimate object get across a point?
Yeah. I got to role play a small crying child because Mike made a child cry. A small tiny frog child.
Oh boy.
Very cute. And, like, and the other's like, no.
Oh my gosh. That's
So
fantastic. But I'm so glad
good.
you got a chance to get in the GM chair and give that a shot.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was fun.
It was fun. I would like to do it again and try even more games. And yeah, I think it's just a bit of a laugh, innit, really, you know?
Yes.
I also like doing accents. I did an accent that slipped into a different one, and I just outright say, okay, they're this accent now because I can't get back to the other one, you know? And it's just like every GM has had that at one point, I'm pretty sure.
I recorded a show last Sunday and a character came on screen and I said, and then this character shows up with a Scottish accent that I'm not gonna do because it's 10 in the morning. And I haven't practiced it. But just imagine they have a Scottish accent.
Yeah, I did a West Country and it went into Welsh, which is, you know, they're next to each other. So like it does genuinely, there is a thing. It's not like I went completely the other side of the country, but like, yeah. I didn't suddenly go Midwestern, you know.
There was one time I was playing a character. I was playing a D&D game with a character who was literally from Ireland. And I was doing an Irish accent, and then at one point somehow slipped into Jack Sparrow. I went, I'm done for the night. I'm not even. No, I'm just gonna talk like this. Like, nah, once you go to Jack Sparrow, you can't. There's no going back. You're trapped there. It's like an infinite void.
I can't do Irish. My Irish slips into Scottish. Which
okay.
So the ones that I was we talk about it in the Blades podcast, actually, like the ones that I'm best at accent wise are the ones like I spent a lot of time in Wales. I lived in Scotland for a few years. Like I have family from the Midlands. I can sort of do, you know, I've got family from like Lancashire area, so I can sort of do a vague northern accent and stuff. It's the things that I've like been most exposed to in like my personal life. And like Irish accents, I've mainly had Irish friends as I've become an adult, and I've met Irish people who moved here who like you know, I didn't go to school with any Irish people. So yeah, like Irish is my weakest one. I can like say like 4 words and then apologize to my Irish friends, basically.
I love it. That's fantastic. Well, we unfortunately got to start wrapping up the show because we got another one going up after this, and it's with the 2 owners of the company, and I don't want to make them mad. Ellen, thank you so much for joining me today. This was an absolute blast.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's always lovely being on. Always lovely to chat. Always good.
If people wanted to find you and what you do on the interwebs, where could they do so?
You can find the Oxventure channel on YouTube. Just search Oxventure. We're also on Twitter and now on Instagram, I believe. Ooh. And if you want to find my stuff, I also do Outside Extra and my personal things. It's all Ickle Rose. ICKLENELLIE. Rose, like the flower.
Should also be, I believe,
this
directly below you.
Probably,
right
yeah. Imagine if I've spelt that wrong. And everyone's like, I can read it, Ellen. That's wrong.
Your spelling bee your own username.
Yeah.
For some people, yeah, that would definitely be the downfall of their spelling bee. But again, thank you so much, Ellen, for joining me this week. Be sure to catch Isle Champions Presents Fury of the Black Rose. If you missed it, it's on YouTube right now. If you're watching this later on YouTube, like I know a lot of you Oxventure fans do, thank you for commenting and everything. You're awesome. Be sure to check that out there. There's new episodes posting on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific and more reasonable times otherwhere in the world. And then there's a rebroadcast at 4 p.m. Pacific later that day. And yeah, so that's going to do it for this week's episode. Ellen, again, thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to see what Merilwen gets up to in Isle Champions Presents.
Terrifying. Thanks for having me, Thomas.
All right, that is going to do it for this week's episode. So until next week, take care of yourself.